Hello, the channel. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're all having a fantastic time this first week of the international break. I think everybody hates it, to be honest. There we go. It's international break. It's the third one of the season already. Good news is I don't think there's any games now for a good couple of months, so we can focus on all the club stuff, all the Celtic stuff, all the English Premier League stuff over Christmas. Always a really nice, enjoyable period. Personally, to be honest, I don't mind a couple of days off at this stage when you get bombarded by football and there'll be lots coming up as well. So it's always quite nice to take a bit of time to chill out. Anyways, we've got the international weekend. There's some other fixtures dotted about. Let's do the preview and get on with it. And there we are, international games. Germany up top against Bosnia. One thing to watch out for here is there's a couple of teams who have double game weeks, etc. for this weekend, so you've got to bear that in mind. I'd avoid Scotland because Scotland are shit. So, there you go. Top advice. If you're thinking about playing Scottish players, just because they've got a double game week, that just means they'll be rubbish twice. A joke. I mean, Scotland played okay in Croatia, to be honest, but yeah, Scotland and then Croatia and then Portugal. Yeah, I don't know. It's away from home against Portugal as well. Anyways, Germany against Bosnia. One thing I was kind of trying to review myself from the last international break was like maybe just not purely picking guys because I think, oh well, they've got two fixtures. So if one of them's a good fixture, then that's fair enough. But it's an interesting one. I do have some Germany players. We've got Musiala and Wirtz, which I'm quite fortunate to have, and Schlotterbeck if he plays. So 3xG or 3.06, 62% clean sheet percentage. Real standout fixture there. I don't have a Germany stack, but I definitely can go with obviously the more attacking side of things. And now Neuer's retired, etc. Ter Stegen's injured. I think probably going to be Nobel. So a few people will be sort of going for that and hoping they get their big hit. Norway against Kazakhstan. I think Kazakhstan is still always thinking about Borat. There's Kazakhstan. My wife. Yeah, 2.95 xg, 78% clean sheet percentage. That's such a high clean sheet percentage. I mean, Norway were really poor against Austria, although Austria beat them 5-1, and Austria under Rangnick are actually pretty good, to be honest. Press well, exciting team, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it could be an interesting one. Odegaard, I don't think is going to play, so it's could some outside shouts like maybe Antonio Nusa. There's this big guy who plays for them who looks quite handy. He's up and coming guy. He's called Haaland. He's pretty good as well. Belgium against Israel. I'm not going to talk about Israel. Let's not get into politics. 2.43 xg for Belgium and 45% clean sheet percentage. Seen there was some chats with Courtois, and he still said if he's not coming back unless this manager's away, basically. So there we go. That's what it is from that point of view. Portugal against Poland. So Portugal have Poland, I think, and Scotland in this same game week, I'm pretty sure. So I'm pretty sure they do. So I don't know why the Scotland game's not shown. Where is it? There we go. I have to correct myself. Scotland are playing away at Poland in the second game, not in Portugal. You begin with a P. So Portugal against Poland, 2.38 xg, 54% clean sheet percentage. England against Ireland, 2.34 xg, 66% clean sheet percentage. I mean, England's going to be a real interesting one because Big Harry's calling everybody out for calling off and all that sort of stuff. There's a difficult game, obviously, midweek against Greece. Then England play Ireland. It's going to be a tough one to call in terms of the actual starting lineup, I think, just because so many guys there who don't normally play. So it could be a good opportunity. You bear that in mind, 66% clean sheet percentage, pretty good. So you'd maybe get one of the English defenders involved there. I don't know, is maybe Cons are going to play or whatever. I don't know. I mean, so many withdrawals. I think I've lost track of who's actually in the squad. Maybe a chance for guys like Hall at left back. Netherlands against Hungary, 2.21 xg, 46% clean sheet percentage. I mean, Holland did do pretty well at the Euros went reasonably far. I wouldn't say they're the best defensively. Um, I do find, I mean, I haven't seen Hungary at the Euros, the way they played against Scotland. I didn't think they were that good. Obviously, they've got Spozline, they've got some talented players, but you would expect Holland to beat them. So that's an interesting one. I guess 46% clean sheet percentage, but maybe Bart Verbruggen will get a bit of action and will be making some saves. Austria against Slovenia. Austria, a team definitely would look out for. 5 goals against Norway is pretty good, right? So, and going really well under Rangnick. Santander, well, obviously there's no contender open this weekend, so there's an all-star. Guys like Inigo Vicente, pretty handy for these weekends. If you're playing all-star, obviously a lot more segregation now, you get international nights, etc. Sweden against Slovakia, Gyökeres, Kulusevski. Sure there'll be some sneaky ones there as well. Like Nanasi's been pretty good for Sweden as well, and for Strasbourg, I guess. Azerbaijan against Estonia. Maybe it's Karl Hyde's season as well. We've got Turkey against Wales. Anything else sticking out? 59% clean sheet percentage for Northern Ireland's pretty high. I'm not sure who the goalkeeper for them is, but that type of stuff's usually worth looking into. Spain against Denmark. I know that Denmark do have a double game week because I had to look at that for big Kasper Schmeichel. And Denmark play against Spain, which is a difficult one. And the other game is against... There's a lot of fixtures on actually. So we've got like Ukraine, Georgia. These are the flip side ones. Denmark against Spain. Yeah, who's the other one? Right, let's get back in. We'll start actually doing some selections, etc., and we'll go from there. So these are my own players who could feature. Valdemarsen's a guy I've sort of picked up deliberately, actually, just to back up to Flecken and also for a bit of international usage as well. So that's interesting. 31% clean sheet percentage, but estimated 100, so expect to be busy. Bart Verbruggen, again, right up there. I don't see how he doesn't play for Holland. I think he's been really good for Brighton. Brighton going really well. Castile should play for Belgium. I don't really see why he wouldn't. No new news there. Trubin will actually get a clean sheet. Benfica not been keeping many clean sheets. Picked up a David Raya Limited as well. He should be playing for Spain, I think, as well at the moment. Nothing else really sticking out there. Remember, Lavakovic is suspended. Who else is sticking out here? Nico Williams always does pretty well for Wales. I guess, away from home against Turkey's not the easiest of games. Kadioglu's injured. It's a shame. He's just sort of getting into maybe hitting a bit of form there. Dragison's an interesting one. Made a lot of mistakes recently. Andy Robertson's a reasonable shout, actually. I think if we're going to pick somebody for the double game week for a sort of Scottish point of view, then Robertson would be an interesting one. He's been rotated a wee bit for Liverpool recently, so should be fresh-ish, and he does take his sets. So if you're going to pick a Scottish player, maybe him or maybe McTominay would be a good shout. We have Charles the Kittler's injured now as well. It's a shame. See, we have loads of injuries going about at the moment. Billy Gilmore, guess a reasonable shout for Scotland. He's usually a kind of AA guy. Doesn't really get many goals or assists at all. So pretty difficult one to pick out for a huge score, if that makes sense. And up front, Doku I think is withdrawn, so that's a shame. Nusa I picked out, so I hadn't actually looked at the sheet before that. Pedro Neto could be a shout for Portugal as well. Kulusevski, as I said before. Don't know why Gyökeres is not in there. Big Victor. Must be some sort of error in the system there, unless I just can't see him. It's probably like projected 200 or whatever with his current form. But yeah, if Kulusevski's up there in a 68, then I think Gyökeres will be up there as well. So what have we got on? We have international nights in season. So limited wise, we have $800 for first, $600 for second, $400 for third. Rare, a wee bit more. So that will be $1,300 for first. It's pretty decent, to be honest, for international games. 900, 600 for the podium, so pretty good. Super rare wise, not many people play out. $1,600 for first. We also have Classic All Star and Classic International nights. So obviously, your guys like Inigo Vicente, everything, your La Liga high promotion guys only going to All Star. Classic International nights as well if you don't have in-season requirements. And we've got under 23s as well. And I'm going to start with under 23s because that is one of my main areas that I really enjoy playing in Sorare. So when I click the right buttons. So let's have a look at that. So it's nice having Valdemars and things like that. It's good having those guys around. I don't think I've got a 23's Super Rare goalkeeper. I just want to double check that first. Yeah, Miguel Acosta doesn't play, so we're not going to be playing under 23 Super Rare, which is okay. As what it is, obviously international. So we'll start with Rare anyway. Still do have a D1 entry at the moment, so that's pretty good. So I just don't sort of lose it midweek. D1 under 23s, $250 for first, and there is a star there as well, so it's definitely worth playing for. So, in terms of what we do here, this is going to be really interesting. I do think that Bart Verbruggen's going to be one I might want in the cash comps. So, very interesting. We've got Karl Hein, we've got Valdemarson against Montenegro as well. So let's have a look at the stats. So 31% clean sheet percentage for Valdemarson, Verbruggen 46, Trubin 31%. So I think I've got to go with the highest clean sheet percentage there. I'm going to go with the actual out of season Bart, and if I'm still not using them in the cash comps, then can swap it back over. Apologise, I've had a bit of the man flu recently, and sound like I've had a bit of the man flu. So, defender wise, Antonio Silva, I find a real interesting one. I mean, he's not getting a game for Benfica at the moment, so that is a real problem. But so yeah, Portugal play Poland and then they play Croatia away. So is it a good chance for a Thomas Araujo? Wrench, I don't know if he plays so much for Holland. Interesting. Again, Antonio Silva, if there's news he's going to play, it's going to be kind of hard to leave him out. Saliba plays against Italy. Not much else out with that. Jurien Timber, maybe chance to get a game. Got Big Costa from Serbia. He's got Switzerland and Denmark. So yeah, it's kind of nothing really hugely standing out. Will Thomas Araujo get his debut? That's going to be difficult. So I think I'll probably it's not a placeholder as such, but put in Saliba just now, and then I think if there's any news, then it might be worthwhile maybe trying to get in one of the guys for Portugal. Move my face back out the way there as well, so it's a wee bit annoying just the way my computer does it, stuff in the background. Midfield wise, who we're going to put in? Well, we've seen earlier, pretty good fixture for Germany. I guess I could go pretty strong in here, but yes, I've got Jude Bellingham, 15.5%. It's really good already. I think I'm going to want him in a cash comp, right? Want to return some cash. Damsgaard, pretty interesting one, although it's Spain and Serbia. It's not the easiest of fixtures. Again, could get him in a cash comp somewhere. Working Cockshoes, an interesting one. Arne Engels, not really a starter for Belgium at the moment. So, in terms of midfield, Arda Guller's kind of interesting one there as well. Definitely a feature for Turkey. So it takes a bit of sets and things as well. So, could kind of go with I'm quite biased with Guller, so don't just pay all the attention to this. But yeah, I could go with Arda in there. They obviously got Virts and Musiala, which is like just an awesome kind of like selection to have for the under 23s. Like, love these guys. I've used the mid. I'm going to use the forward card. I mean, I could actually fire one of these guys into the cash comps as well. So that's the other thing I could do. I think what I'll probably do just now. This is not optimal for the 23s, but probably put in the mid card for Musiala. Wee bit sort of less XP, probably Captain Virch, and then still got everybody all together and still have the Musiala forward card with reasonable XP put into the cash comps as well. There it is. It's the noise. You've selected the team. Fandabidosi. So that's a nice team. I mean, I guess leaving sleep in's not the end of the world there as well, but probably prefer somebody for Portugal. I don't know. Anyways, let's limit this to limited. See, that's always what I was saying earlier, but it buggers with my head like having the double game weeks and everything. So again, for Bruggen's kind of pretty interesting selection here. Do have a Trubin, etc. I can use. Georgia's going to be a tough game, but you imagine it'll be relatively busy. Ukraine don't always keep many clean sheets. That's the issue. So I mean, I guess you got Bruggen, you use them. Valdemarson, pretty interesting. I mean, Montenegro, clean sheet percentage 31, so pretty similar to the Tribinator. So probably just not a double game week for Iceland. So I'll probably just go with Trubin. Gvardiol's an interesting one. Maybe a wee bit trappy. Just Scotland away and then Portugal at home. I mean, bad first game against Scotland. You never know. I think it's obviously his class, so it's an interesting one. Could be good for the cash comps as well. Probably initially just going to fire him in here, picking under 23s first, and then readjust things obviously from there. Jao Neves again, a real talented player. Damsgaard, as I say, real interesting one. He's been taking some sets and things for Brentford, so not the worst buy in the world for the EPL. We've got Amadou Onana, who does pretty well for Belgium as well. So I think I'm going to put in Onana. It's Israel. Again, could be also used in the cash comps, so need to sort of see where do I want to go sort of strong. Can't use both Virch and Musiala in the cash comps anyway. Don't want to put in Kvaradona against Trubin. That doesn't really make much sense. Morgan Rogers could be a good outside one against Ireland, making his debut and everything, and could get in. Get John Duran there. So I think probably just keep the higher XP Virch for the cash comps, go for Musiala, and then who else do we put in here? Orkin Culture just keeps letting me down, so I'm not just going to ignore him. Look like quite a strong team though. Arda Güler, yeah, could play Arda Güler as well. So just play Arda in this one. I mean, Güler's kind of more a central figure for Turkey, and go for Musiala, captain that as well. So that's pretty fun. Cash comps wise, I think I'll do the rare one, the National Lights, and that will probably do. So, All Star, rare. Yeah, I don't think we have an international filter on this, but don't really mind. Obviously, this is enough of a filter. You can see, obviously, these guys here in the blue are the in-season cards as well, so it's pretty handy to know that. So, Team 1. Seth, probably what you use like Bart in here. So Schmeichel's interesting, I guess. 2 chances. One note of caution, the international manager refused to confirm he was sort of undisputed number 1. So obviously Hermansen is there as well. I'd be surprised if Casper gets dropped. I mean, last international break, I'm sure he kept 2 clean sheets. So I think that's maybe an overall question. And if you've got him, definitely reasonable case of using them. First game for Denmark's against Spain. Yamal's out, so Rodri's out, so maybe that's not too bad. Do I put him in the first team, or do I use Bart in terms of maybe a more favourable game against Hungary? I'll be running multiple teams anyway, so I can go with the higher XP Casper and then look at the sort of different projections In terms of forwards, to say I want to kind of maybe run a Musiala or whatever in here. Although in this one I can run like Gyökeres, and pretty good fixture for Sweden as well. So, Gyökeres and Kulusevski's are really nice sort of pair to run. I guess Isak's back, so if you've got an Isak, then that'd be pretty awesome. I'll probably want to run Schlotterbeck in here as well. Like, I just sort of favour the cash, so I'll need to check if he's obviously projected to play. And then Croatia, not so easy. I mean, Modric's really been really good at Hampden before. Playing against a tough Scotland midfield, Billy Gilmore, McTominay and everything. So there's lots of sort of class in there as well. Probably just put sort of Jude Bellingham in there, just provisionally, and then so the captain's got to be Gyökeres or Schlotterbeck, right? Gyökeres is a maniac. I'm going to go Schlotterbeck. Yeah, I'm just going to put a classic card in, specific reason for it. So I'll provisionally just captain him there. Then check to see what the project lineup for Germany is. So I always find it confusing when Schlotterbeck doesn't play because I just think he's so good. Guess the other thing I can do is I can run with Bart and I can put Virgil in, so that's a kind of nice thing to do as well if I'm using Schlotterbeck in that team. So we've got Bart Verbruggen. I don't have an in-season Virgil, but I do have a 13%. It's quite high on the collection bonus. The only issue then is I can't run Musiala in this team. First world problems or whatever you want to call it. I guess I could move him back into something else. Goncalves is injured, so he's not even with Portugal. Valverde's always pretty good for his country. It's an interesting one. Morita against China. China are pretty rotten. Could use Matoma in there. Some really good options stacking up there as well. Probably going to go with Luka Modric because, obviously I've kind of talked him down in terms of that fixture against Scotland, but just such a class player and just does so well, obviously, for his international team. Will Isaksen play for Denmark? Probably not. This is where it starts getting a bit more difficult because I've run out of in-season forwards now, so the requirement of 4 is quite hard, isn't it? So maybe I'll need to just not run Virgil in this team. Who's I could run John Paul Van Heck. So Van de Veen's injured, although he kind of played more a bit sort of left back. You go for Rudiger. Goodmanson's pretty good fixture against Slovakia. He's been playing centre back, so that's interesting. Let's have a look and see what the defender scores stack up as. Troner, probably 50%. Rudiger, I could play Rudiger at home. It's a shame I kind of wanted to do that sort of, Bart and Virgil type thing there, but it's obviously not going to work. Who else have we got actually as a forward? I can play Musiala now, so that's, play Musiala captain. So that's a bit better. And then last slot, Greg Taylor doesn't really play for Scotland, but Andy Robertson. Quite like to use Van Heck if I knew he was going to play, so he's projected to play. Definitely be tempted by that. Valverde's a proper ever-present for Uruguay, so with the Real Madrid connection here. I'll probably just go with that just now. I'll go with Musiala as captain. So, I guess the only problem with that is if Germany smash, then it's going to be quite hard to win. But if they score a couple of goals and concede a stupid one or whatever, Musiala's star, then it'd be interesting having Rudiger. At the end of the day, it's cash entries. We're just trying to chip away and get a bit of cash. Can't win cash every weekend. Obviously, do my very best to do that, but you can only try. Anyway, there'll be a lot of adjustment needing done to that. Obviously, only provisional selection so far. Try to focus on, obviously, quality and I sound like Brendan Rodgers there, pace, power, quality. I'm not going to say essence, essentially. But getting some nice selections in, under 23s, some cash entries. They'll do some classic stuff as well. You'll see there sometimes, that's maybe one of the reasons why I'm not doing as well at classic as well, because I've got real good classic cards. Maybe use it in the last slot, so maybe need to bear that in mind. Overall strategy is obviously working pretty well. There's lots of sort of nice threads and everything up at the moment. I know people sometimes do and don't want to get engaged in that stuff over international break. Hopefully there'll be some updates from Sorare soon. They're not going to make any changes just now, but it'll be good if we got sort of pitch notes back or what's in the offing, or at least some comms. We're sorry we fucked up the essence thing. Yes, it's a really complicated thing as well. There's some really good articles up. Let's just have a quick look and I'll show you the ones I mean. So here we are, zooming over to the wonderful world of the social media. And so perhaps put out a good one today. These are all on Medium as well. You can give him a sort of follow. And his handle is capital BHAB 7474. Written a pretty good piece about making sense out of essence. So I read it and I was like, yeah, this is all still pretty complicated, right? And different phrases like linear and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, it's what it is. And Sorare obviously have misjudged it slightly. We've got Brad, the Harper Way, has put up a really good sort of article here as well. Sorare, 2 sizes too small. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but yeah, if you give them a follow, the Harper Way, and read it, thought it was pretty interesting. Then the last one, sort of referenced on Twitter and everything, is MPen. To be honest, I don't know if you even watch the channel. If you don't, Mike, get your finger out and start watching the channel. But yeah, Mike's sort of thrown in his 2 cents as well. Where is it? Yeah, he's got his Medium articles and stuff on there as well. I didn't think, in all honesty, Mike's last one was his best. But there we go. I've moved my face down because I was right in the middle of the power play there. Now I am not the power play. I am not. Anyway, yeah, Mike's probably not his best one. I don't know. I'm a bit more disengaged with Sorare at the moment, just trying to enjoy it and play. But it's worth reading all this stuff. I've put up a wee thread there, a big thread, giving some thoughts to it as well. If you have any thoughts on Sorare just now, firstly, please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the channel and the content. It's all free. I'm giving you all this information for free. Hopefully, it helps a bit in terms of selecting the right fixtures or the right players, obviously, for the weekend. And, if you have any thoughts on Sorare, things you'd like to see or opinions on it, then drop them into the comments. We can interact a bit and see what people think. This is usually the worst bit, like the international break. We do have another sort of calendar, I think, due out soon for December, etc. And then, we're getting into Christmas. Hopefully people are, calmed a bit and get Christmas money in and just, watch some EPL games and have a few beers and all that sort of stuff. Then have another few beers and eat some food and, then have another few beers. Like that type of stuff, and just let's not be focusing on bloody threads and sustainability and all that type of stuff. Do you know what's not sustainable? Having a few beers and then having another few beers and then having another few beers. But that is exactly what I'm going to do over the Christmas period, and I can't wait. Anyways, let's end on that note. We're nearly at half an hour. I'll be getting chucked off. I am the producer of the show, but I'll be chucking myself off soon. Thanks again for watching. If you've got to the end of this video during International Week, then you're definitely a hardcore user, and I much appreciate it. Thanks very much. Good luck and go far.